Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
2 months ago, callers to my radio show and emailers said, Alex, start a national coffee party to wake up the tea parties that neocons are taking it over. And we bought the website names. I didn't build it. I meant to just put up a code of what a real Tea Party person, from my view, should support. Cutting taxes, smaller government, controlling our borders, not launching all these new wars. You know, that the Oath Keepers are good, Sheriff Mack is good. Because now the Republican Party's coming out demonizing Sheriff Mack and saying, oh, these are extremists, saying sheriffs need to, run their county and that the states need to get control. Well, now the Democrats have been caught setting up a coffee party. No doubt trying to preempt us. So we're going to crack the whip around here and get this up and get this rolling in the next few days. I'm going to cover more of that coming up. We got Ron Paul in 1 hour. We'll talk about a host of important issues with the congressman. But for the next 30 minutes, we're joined by Larry Pratt, executive director of the only real national, no-compromise Second Amendment lobby, Gun Owners of America. And I've got him on about a host of issues, but every few months he comes on to break down the latest attack strategies by the victim disarmament parasites in government. And the D.C. Heller case said, yeah, you got an individual right, but we have a right to restrict it. So it was really, in a way, bad. This, in new statements, they haven't ruled yet, but they made statements during the deliberations that, oh, yeah, Chicago and New York and D.C. can't completely not let you have guns, but we do, basically, you have a right to turn your guns in. Yes, you have a Second Amendment, but we have a right to ban your guns if we want, which is totally asinine. So joining us is Larry Pratt. Larry, I've seen some of the gun-grabbing groups are saying they're actually happy about where the court's going.
A couple reasons, I think. One is that they're hoping that the standard that the court will use in determining that the Chicago handgun ban is unconstitutional, and most people think they will do that, but the standard that they are very possibly going to use would mean that you could start heading off into the wild blue yonder and making housing a right or health a right. And, of course, that would be the end of freedom in this country as we know it. And this is something that has been developing over time. This wouldn't be new with this case. The judges have been taking power into their hands for a long time. That's not a newsflash, certainly not to you and your listeners. But the fact is they may continue in that direction, and that is going to mean more gun control would be possible. They'll decide on a case-by-case basis, but Scalia's opinion in the D.C. handgun case made it sound like he didn't have any problem if government wanted to outlaw machine guns. Well, excuse me, but if there is a militia weapon of our day, the quintessential militia weapon, that's it. That's the one that the Swiss send home with every one of their citizen army. And here in this country, we think somehow only the government should have the militia weapon. Woof. That's the kind of militia they have in Cuba, in Venezuela, had in Soviet Union and so forth. So it's going to be nice that you'll be able to have a handgun in Chicago. That's a likely outcome, probably at least 5 votes in favor of that, maybe even 6. But then we're going to have to continue watching what Mr. Heller, who got the D.C. gun ban overturned, is doing. He's got a suit already going after the District of Columbia and their licensing scheme, because they frankly have figured out what New York has figured out, that you can have, for practical purposes, a gun ban without calling it that.
Absolutely. Unless you make a $30,000 donation to the sheriff in New York, you're not going to get one, so only rich Goldman Sachs billionaires have it. That was in Bloomberg. They're arming against the public. The bankers have all got semi-autos, whatever they want. The public's being mugged in the street by the hordes of vampiric homeless people running around in a drug-crazed stupor. Stay there.